learn a little bit more about what we're doing. I think that's always a good thing for more people to know what we're doing. Uh-oh, I lost my coverage here. Let's join in with the audio. All right, we're on live. Might have to move this further away. So let's cue the camera here. Excellent. All right. So, pardon my background, you guys. We have a lot going on. I'm going to do my best to give you guys the information you need. That's the raw reality. All the other stuff is just fluff. Every fourth Saturday of the month is our conversation to talk about where we are as a people, what National Block Club University is doing, and ultimately how we see the way forward. It is May, and it feels like July, and that's okay. Um, Let me do it this way here. I should be able to put some slides up so you guys can see. That's something I haven't been able to do the last couple of um, months. So I'm excited that you guys will be able to see that, see, um, see what I'm going to be sharing. So let me do that first. Put this screen up right here so you guys can see the money. I want you guys to see the money, your money. And this is a test just to see how everything is showing up. Because what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna read to you the agenda that we have. We're gonna start out with um, roll call. I'm gonna go through our zip code leaders so you guys will know who they are. That's on this slide here. Talk about what I know as the latest in each zip code. Yep, there it is. It's showing, so that's perfect. Let's see here. Let's turn this up. Okay. All right, beautiful people. Here we go. And I hope that echo isn't something that you guys can hear. If so, we'll just chalk this summit up. This is going to be a not as usual summit. I'm here in Chicago, Gary, and I'm been here for 35 days now. The challenge whenever I come like this is I'm literally moving the whole administration. So you're talking 30 some file drawers all coming with me to be on station to help us manage everything we do. And it's going to stay here for the next 3 months. I don't leave until the end of August after the August summit. So we got May summit, June summit, July summit, August summit, 4 summits, and then I'll be back in the South. So let's kick this off with what you guys can see here right now. Um, let's start right here with roll call. There we go. For those first-time watchers, National Block Club University is a anti-violence non-for-profit focused on making our neighborhoods safer around the country. The way we do this is we have 20 zip codes in Chicago, the third largest city in America, in the U.S., and each zip code is linked to a different U.S. city. And the purpose of that linkage, it allows us to build relationships here and nationally and even abroad. Every one of these zip codes are also linked to a country in Africa. So let's go through the first one here. here is 60612. I'm not expecting Brother Byron Dickens. That's our governor for East Garfield Park. I will say in that zip code, we have our brother Johnny's Cafe that we're working on to get to see value in us and come on board with the business model, which is $144, 60612. So if you guys are in that area, Western, right off the blue line there, pay that brother a visit. 60623 is Governor Strickland, Eric Strickland, North Lawndale. And 60612, let me go back, is linked to Boston, Massachusetts, and it's linked to um, Ghana in Africa, and they manage all things dealing with biologists and scientists. 60623, on the other hand, led by Governor Eric Strickland, uh, his zip code is North Lawndale, and it's linked to Los Angeles, it's linked to Senegal in Africa, and they manage all entertainment. And the update in 60623 is Governor Strickland and I met at least once, and we have a good vision on how this summer is going to go in North Lawndale with what activities we're going to be doing. So I appreciate that, brother, Governor Byron, I mean, Governor Eric there. Then we have 60624 zip code, which is Garfield Park. That's Sister Sandra uh, Brinson. She actually was in Gary, Indiana with us last night, yesterday. Came all the way from the west side. So I definitely commend her for that long trip and the traffic it took getting back home late last night. But she got a chance to meet our Gary leaders. We'll talk about that later on as well. So 60624 is linked to, it's in Garfield Park in Chicago. It's linked to Atlanta, Georgia. It's linked to Sierra Leone in Africa, and they manage all uh, police, firefighters, and military veterans for us in Chicago. Garfield Park haven't been able to penetrate 60624 as I wanted to. Been here for, like I say, 36 days, and I'm gonna spend some time around Garfield Park. If you guys have anyone in that zip code, please give them my number so I can talk to them and see if they can see value in what we're doing as well. 312-405-8844. 312-405-8844. Next zip code is 60639. This is the worst zip code we have out of 20 zip codes. This one and then 60609. Just haven't been able to get anybody to really anchor us. In the interim, where we have our business person Tiffany Taylor filling in, but she's a business person, so really we need a resident to hold this down. So we definite and desperately need 60639. So if you guys have someone over there, let them know the community is calling. The most dangerous, deadly holiday is coming up to kick off the summer, Memorial Day. We need to connect real soon with whoever we got over there. 60644 is Brother James there. We also have Jerry, who I haven't met but talked to a couple of times on the phone. Looking forward to meeting with Jerry. And this zip code is linked to Cote d'Ivoire in Africa. It's linked to St. Louis, Missouri. They manage all lawyers and judges for us. So definitely should be stronger than that is. That's a weaker zip code as well. And then the last one on the west side, 60651 zip code, which is West Humboldt Park, North Garfield Park. And this zip code is led by Governor Cornetha Jones, and haven't had a chance to connect with her since I've been back, or her district leader Jerome. Hoping to connect with them soon. This zip code is somewhat strong because Sandra lives on Chicago Avenue, so we able to do some things. We just engaged a non-for-profit that's been receiving grant money and had so much trash right outside their non-for-profit location. So our superstar Tamala engaged them, and I went over there, was able to do a video just to highlight overall everyone being more accountable to being clean, especially though an agency receiving state and local tax dollars. Then we had 60609. like I said, one of the weakest zip codes. We got a pastor, Ken Atwood, filling in, but we need a resident there. That's the raw reality. We don't even have a business over there. We have Chicago Black Business Network filling in for that zip code, led by Sonia Purdue. But definitely gonna spend some time in this zip code because I don't like how empty it is. Then we have 60620. This zip code is on fire because the governor there, Francis Newman, this 60609 is linked to Detroit, Michigan, and Ethiopia in Africa, and they manage all our construction personnel. Now, Francis, superstar 60620 is linked to Norfolk, Virginia. It's linked to Egypt and Africa, and they manage all veterinarians for us. And this zip code is one of the strongest zip codes, primarily because of the leadership. That's why leadership matters so much. So kudos to that zip code. And we got an elder in that zip code that we've been cutting their grass because the goal is to have work for these youngsters to do when they get out of school. Then we got the next one, 60621, led by Chastity Freeman. This young lady is in Inglewood doing her community work, and we salute her. This zip code is linked to New York City. It's linked to all technology and Sudan and Africa, all of Sudan, not just North Sudan, South Sudan, all of Sudan, and we appreciate her. 60629, we have several superstars. Tracy Thomas, we got Terry, in that zip code. We just lost our mother McFadden, who's been with us second longest, and so we everything we do is with her in mind. This zip code has been somewhat disappointed because it's my base, but we just want to get more people involved. We do have a village mayor, Deborah Pryor, who came out. Her and Tracy came out to the casino yesterday, so I appreciate that. And so we want to get some more people to back them up in 60629. Then we have 60636, led by Denise King, superstar West Inglewood. And West Inglewood is linked to San Diego, California. It's linked to Somalia. It's linked to um, all gardeners or farmers. 60629 is linked to Washington, D.C., Djibouti in Africa, and all business people. And the last one on the south side, west of the Dan Ryan, is 60652 zip code, led by the youngster we had since she was 14. Now she's 28, Brittany, Governor Brittany. So she's coordinating, and she's a living, walking success story for us. And her zip code is 52. Every second Friday, this zip code, which is linked to St. Paul, Minnesota, and is linked to all things dealing with political people. This zip code is arguably one of the ones that everyone want to participate in because they love the report cards on politicians concept. Well, that's Brittany's area. That's what they do. Linked again to St. Paul, Minnesota, linked to Kenya and Africa, and they do report cards on the politicians. All right, the last eight, I'm gonna go through pretty quick because these represent the east side. 60615 zip code is Washington Park, High Park, led by Governor Joe. Joe, this zip code is linked to New Orleans. It's linked to Congo and Africa. Um, Need more people in this zip code. 60617, led by Chrissy Williams. That's Calumet Heights. That's linked to Kansas City, Missouri. It's linked to all our teachers, and it's linked to Tanzania and Africa. And then 60619 is led by Erica Dunn. Erica been with us for quite a bit. We was on Wednesday's meeting at her location, so we forever grateful for that. And her zip code is linked to Angola in Africa. It's linked to Philadelphia here in the U.S., and it manages all our detectives and unsolved cases. And so missing persons fall in that category. Then we have 60628 led by Charles Robinson. Charles in this zip code just relocated. Where he relocated, we already made stronger connections than where he was living at. So that's good. They came out yesterday as well. And Charles zip code is linked to South Africa, is linked to Dallas, Texas, and they manage all our nurses, pastors, and truck drivers. 60637, led by Claudette Reddick, Governor Claudette, and her zip code is linked to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and is linked to Zimbabwe in Africa. They manage all our artists, DJs, and photographers for the whole city. 60643 is led by Diana Barnes. Her zip code is linked to Botswana in Africa. It's linked to Cleveland, Ohio, and they manage all things dealing with doctors and dentists. Then we have 60649 led by the governor of Rachel Lindsay. This zip code is linked to Miami, Florida, and it's linked to Zambia in Africa, and they manage all of our marketers, sales, marketing personnel. And the last and final one is 60653 zip code led by Nakeem. It's Bronzeville. This zip code is linked to Gary, Indiana. It's linked to Nibia in Africa. And their role is to handle a lot of this administration and paperwork that you see me doing. So let me go on to the next agenda item. So I'm going to get it off this screen here. And we're going to get going with the agenda. Glad we got that part out the way. So let's get back to this. Well, actually, I'm gonna take an intermission here because that was roll call. So I'm gonna come back with the good news, and then we go get going. It's only 3:15, so we only 5 minutes switched up. Not late, just switched up. All right. All right. I am back. So at this stage in our agenda, it is time to talk about the good news, and I don't know where to begin. I'm here. I'm in the Midwest from the South, here for 4 months to make it as safe as it can be. Do my part to get Chicago, Gary, Detroit, St. Louis, Milwaukee ultra organized. So I'm grateful to be here because of Chip Dolphy and the African American Historical News Journal. They financed the $5,000 advance for me to be able to come up here and be on station here to do the work. We also made a great connection with former Bears football player Israel Donajay's team, Fabric. We're in the midst of supporting them. We're obtaining millions of dollars from the state so that they can do right by our community. It's a letter writing campaign. We'd love to have you on board with that, helping us to helping them receive that funding. What we want to see happen is we need anyone in Fabric and the affluent to purchase 20,000 books from the historical news journals, and then we'll have funding for 20 U.S. cities and 20 zip codes in Chicago. So that's our goal, is to get that done. The other good news is we are $1,500, possibly now $1,400 away from breaking last year's donation totals, and we haven't even hit June 1st yet. You guys are hitting it out the park with donating and getting family and friends to donate. I am impressed, and I know that, and I felt like this day was going to come. And the 35 Black business owners doing $144 as well. We completed that group. We're working on group two now. We're working on Gary group one now. The real estate groups are coming together real nicely with that. So it's just a lot of good news happening right now, and I'm grateful to be able to share that good news with you. So let's get into rural towns. So I was in Mississippi in March. Need to get back there. Working on getting back there very soon here. So the 108 newsletters we created, we've carved out 108 towns in Mississippi, and the purpose of that is it is the blackest state in the union, and that's at 37.8%. The whitest state in the union is Wyoming, I believe, and that's like 97% white. So as you can see, we don't have a state nowhere near 30, 40%, whereas we have about eight of them that are some of the whitest states in the union. And so the problem with that is we don't have no sanctuary. There's no place. We out in the sun, totally exposed. And so we need to have a place where we can seek shelter and shade and sanctuary. And so we hoping Mississippi can be that place for us. So in order to be in harmony with that, we took 108 towns in Mississippi and we got newsletters set up for each of these towns. So it's a beautiful thing. Today, I thought I had it ready, but today there's about six towns in Mississippi. Yeah, I don't have it in front of me. There's about six towns in Mississippi that we're focused on, and I just called one of them and broke bread with a lady that runs a barbecue in town. It's a small town. I shared with her we're going to be buying a free meal once a month for someone, and she was grateful for that. It's going to allow her to offer something different for to her customers and help get that town organized the way we organize. So that's a good thing. We also appointed Al Wilson, truck driver extraordinaire out of Jackson, Mississippi. He's in charge of now all things South Mississippi. And our superstar district leader from Chicago, Hydras Clark, she's handling everything North Mississippi. So between those two, they're gonna essentially split the 108 towns in half almost. And so that means each one of them have about 54 towns that they'll be helping me to coordinate and get Mississippi on board fully. So that's my Mississippi report. I hope to get there in June. Your contributions will help make that a reality. That's what we want to see. Because this month we're in Tutwiler, Mississippi. Next month we're in Yazoo City, Mississippi. So that's my Mississippi report. There you go. It's filed to you guys there. Now let's get to the next item, which is safety. This is sad. It's always sad because of the violence that continues to happen. I do want to present to you guys what we think is going to be able to help us be safer, and it's called the spindle and contaminated box. Before I do that, let me break down to you guys uh, why this matters so much. Memorial Day weekend is coming. Summer is coming. If you're thinking about um, doing the same thing we did last year or year before that because of COVID, what will be different when it comes to the murders and shootings? And this is why what I'm about to share with you hopefully will resonate because let's try something different. Let's 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 be innovative. Let's think outside the box. And that's what that's what this concept is going to do for you right here. So HSN is the solution to from my stance, from my vantage point. HSN is a lifestyle. I believe anti-violence is a lifestyle. And so when we think about how do we handle conflict, what happens when someone make us mad, do we snap off, do we cuss them out? That's a prelude to how the younger generations handle conflict as well. And we know how that's working out for us. So it's important that we teach them different, and hopefully they'll abide by not being so quick to pull the trigger and do things that they'll later regret. Okay. So HSN is Habit Schedule Network. That's what that stands for. Trying to get this light to be a little bit different here. Let's do it this way. All right. HSN, Habit Schedule Network. Please write that down. So when you think about the shooters out here shooting and killing, a lot of times it's over very small trivial things. But when you don't have much to live for, when you don't see a future, then you're living for the now. And so something as simple as disrespect, perceived disrespect, could have deadly consequences. And that's what we see. We see people who can go from 0 to 10 very quickly because, again, not much, future that they're looking at. So what we have is um, what we call a contaminated box. And this contaminated box, we believe, is in all of us. This is the hurt, the abuse, and the bitterness that we've undergone over our years. And that hurt, abuse, and bitterness is in all people, blacks, whites. The problem and the challenge for us is because of isolation, starvation, exploitation, we probably got it the worst. And so, subsequently, as a result of that, we can kill and we do kill each other at a rate that is just unacceptable. So, what is the solution? If you can visualize this with me, you got this box, right? It's contaminated. Functional people take vacations, they get away, so they keep their contamination levels low inside their box. Isolated people, starved people, exploited people don't have that luxury, so therefore they just sit and fester and essentially, you know, bad things happen because of it. So what we've created is the 108 um, spindle. And what does a spindle do? It spins. And so that's what we believe is going to be key, because what we did need more of in Black America was programs that end, programs that depend on grants that can end. We needed processes. Processes are a series of steps you take to get to an outcome. We need process. What is the process of handling conflict? What is the process of handling a rapist in your neighborhood? What is the process of handling a sex offender on your block? What is the process of making the block safer? Not programs, process, meaning we everyone get to learn a series of steps to take. So this spindle is 108 different meetings every single month, meaning rotation, meaning it's not going nowhere. It keeps on happening over and over and over again. So that's a big deal. And with that rotation and this spindle spinning, it allows every time we meet someone and we find out what they care about to plug it into the spindle, and now they're connected with other people. So when I talk about stopping this violence out here this summer, we talking about contaminated people walking around as ticking time bombs, ready to become the next shooter or the person shot. And so as we come in with the 108 spindle, one of those 108 is going to appeal to them. That's our hook. That's our reason to interact, and we bring them on in. All right. So that's what we believe is going to be a game changer for the way we've been living and operating. Now that we got this piece going, that's going to treat the contamination in our communities. Okay. Got a slide here. I'm going to try and show you guys the slides so you can see what this spindle looks like. And there it is. Let's see here. Give it a second to pull up, and I'm gonna walk you through it. Walk you through what it looks like here. Okay. So see if I can blow this up because I know that's hard to see. Oh, now that's really good to see. All right, so let's start at the top here. Okay, so let's start over here with the problem. The problem is every human being's contaminated box, and it's made up of hurt, it's made up of abuse, and it's made of bitterness. You see the times in yellow, all these different times. When you look at the shooting and killing, you would see that it happened at 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night, 2 o'clock. The question is, what were they doing before the shooting? What were they doing? Were they so bitter that they was gonna get revenge? Were they so hurt that they was gonna pay someone back? This, these times represent when we meet And our meetings are all anchored in 16 block areas where these killing fields are taking place. That's where our meetings are, so that we can be out there ready to plug in our 108 spindle into their contaminated box. And by us having these 108 meetings with the 108 times, it makes it us accessible to them based on whenever that hurt, abuse, and bitterness is so strong that they may go out there and do something they later regret. So that's why you see those there. If you see here, it says less protected time. Our meetings run from 10 in the morning to 8 at night. So between 8 at night and 9 the next morning, we don't have protection. We don't have coverage. We don't have interactions. So this is where we are leaning on the police, National Guard, if they've been activated to be out there. Other than that, we think the spindle can deal with our people the best way versus getting the police and government. Okay, so let me go over. You see the tier 1, 2, and 3. Let me break that down. Tier 1 is your family and friends. That's your personal life. There's people in your tier 1 personal life who hurt you, who may have abused you, who may you cause you to be bitter. Tier 2 is your neighborhood. Some people, what's happening on their block caused them some hurt, some abuse, and some bitterness. And tier 2 allow us to work on the neighborhood. Tier 3 is your job, your profession. Some people have been hurt on the job, didn't get promoted. Some people are being abused on the job. Some people are bitter because they didn't get the job. So tier 3 is the profession. So we have tier 1, 2, and 3 that allows us at 108 times a month to interact with our people. It is a beautiful thing of beauty there to see this working as we engage our people. So here we go, the spindle, 108. Codes, predictable. What this is, and this is the beauty, as you learn this process, you'll be able to walk up to a young man who might appear to be off track, have a conversation with him. If he loves carpentry, bricklaying, plumbing, you can give him a code, which is a certain number and an alphabet and a number and a phone number. And when he calls, his whole world can change because of the connections we're going to give him, the layers of support he's going to get or she's going to get. So we really are bullish on the spindle and the 108 codes that go along with the spindle to plug into our people. Now, people always say, "Stop! Why is it taking so long? Why is this not working already?" And this is what I would point to right here. See if I can get my graphics on and circle that. But the reason it's not happening is because of this $1 a month. That's the reason why we have to continue to work on getting our people in the habit of circulating money easily when it's a cause like in this case ours. Okay, so let's stop sharing that. Now, you seen that? That's what our safety plan is. The next one is our youth. What's the plan for the youth? So I do have 3 young black boys coming, and they're going to spend possibly the summer with me in the north. They're coming from the south, and some are in Chicago, but they're going to be under male leadership. Why male leadership? Because young men need to see what functional adult men do. So these mothers are trusting me with their son, and our process that we have allows you to do the same thing we're going to do with these young men, you to do it in your environment if you carve out time and you have the trust of the parents. So what that looks like is 3 boys. Each one of them will be assigned some different tasks. We got our tours, we got our summits, and our conventions. That's easy. 3 boys, one go take tours, one go take summits, one go take conventions. And that's just with 3 boys. If we had 30 boys, 10 go take conventions, 10 go take summits, 10 go take the tours. So it doesn't matter the number, it's work that needs to get done. And that's the key with this new way of having our children be active this summer without the traditional programs and processes. Each one of them would take an out of town trip. That's a big deal because that's the exposure that they need to see a different way. We want it to be Mount Bayou, Mississippi. That's what we want. We'll see how if we can get there or not. All right, so that's the kind of the youth aspect of it. I want to switch gears here after the break, and we're going to talk about missing persons and vacant buildings. Okay, and we come back, missing persons and vacant buildings. Thank you. All right, I'm back. We're about to go over missing persons right now. We have tragedy on our hands. Young Kyron is still missing. This is a 12-year-old boy from Ohio here with one of our leaders in Gary, Indiana. It's their direct family, so this just hit home, and so we're definitely praying that there's a good resolution. But I want to talk about what you can do, what we all should be doing, and not just waiting for what the media prompts us to as a indicator for what we should be doing. We should wait on the media because we know the media has its biases. So our goal is to make sure that we have a process. Again, process over program. Every Monday is safety day. Every Monday. So that means what are you doing on Monday to make sure that from this standpoint we are searching for our missing persons, that we are creating an environment where someone that might be trafficking them don't feel comfortable, because that's the other piece. There's some comfort that's out there when it comes to trafficking young girls and women. So we want to make that uncomfortable for them. So watch this clip real quick, and then I'm gonna come back and we're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna share the screen so you guys can see. Uh-oh, that's it. They let me do it. Let's see if they allow me to do that. All right. Like that's not working, but this is a picture here of him, Tyron Carter, 12 years old, brown hair, brown eyes, 5 feet 4 inches, weighs 130 pounds. You can see him leaving with no shoes on. The hotel out in I think it's Hammond. They're from Kansas City, they say. So they were at the Best Western Hotel, 3830 179th Street, around 12:30. So, you know, anyone that want to connect that. Now, let me talk about Mondays and why Mondays matter so much. Let's stop sharing here. So, while we wait on that to close down, okay, every Monday is safety day. That's a process. It should keep on every Monday. Are you safer? If the family don't know where to meet in case of a fire, you can't just go in the front. If the fire department is out there, you're gonna have to go at the beginning or the end of the block. It's best that you guys agree on that, so you don't go in there looking for a family member and they was already out, but on the opposite end, you didn't know it. So you want to do that every Monday, safety day. Why not knock that out? Also, every Monday, check your zip code sex offenders. See who's there. Look at their pictures. So you're that much more aware when you're walking around engaging in your community. Then let's talk about missing persons. Um, how well you know your block can help you to be an ally to a family that's missing their loved one. If a young 15-year-old girl showed up on your block, would you know? Well, it depends on where that person is, at the beginning of the block, middle of the block, end of the block. We get blocks along. So this is what we think is gonna help us when it comes to missing persons. It's called the force field. And the force field is you having the phone number and them having your phone number of your neighbor on the left and right of you, in the front and in the alley behind you. That creates a force field for you. And just think, if you're doing that at the beginning of the block, someone in the middle of the block is doing that. That means the block behind y'all are seeing it on the same page. Then someone at the end of the block is doing it. Now you got two blocks working together because of the alley. And then you got neighbors knowing each other's phone numbers. So if they see something, they can call you directly. If your house catch on fire, they can call you before you get home. It just, there are some benefits of being that connected block by block. I'm here in the north, so we're going to definitely be pushing that and seeing if we can get traction with people owning this. But if not, we're going to continue to manually do it because it just makes sense to have this force field. So that's one aspect. Now, what we do with Erica Dunn, who's our leader for missing persons, our whole thing is we need to make certain that we know where we can rule out where a trafficked young girl would be, missing boy would be. And so barbershops, they may pass through if they want to change their identity, but that's highly unlikely because barbershops got cameras. But we want to be able to rule out barbershops. That don't mean we can't talk to them, but you rule out beauty salons. We can rule that out. Beauty supply stores, we can, we can watch that, but we gotta be careful if they trying to hide, change their identity. Uh, Truck stops are some of the worst places when it comes to missing persons because unfortunately they can get in the truck, be in the truck, and then be anywhere in the country. So those cities that have those trucking stops like Pilot and TA, it's very important to make them one of the first stops you go to the minute you hear of someone missing. Truck drivers are ally. They on the road. They can be a voice for you. So that's how you use it and the danger of using it when it comes to our truckers. Rewards. We got to be able to put reward money out. That moves some people is the idea that they can get some money. So that's a big part of it. And then the $12, when you donate your money, you're allowing us to be available and also to make sure that we have that money based on zip code so we can put back in there with physical trainings for the youngsters in your house on how to evacuate in case of a fire. We use that money for the kids to travel, kids from out of town to come in town and volunteer and help you. So the money rotates and it stays around to make it better and safer for us. Last thing on the missing persons is the vacant buildings. We If it's a vacant building on your block, we need to write down the address and text it to me, 312-405-8844. That's 312-405-8844. And also, if you see a van that has no windows, and text me the license plate where you saw that at, and we just go keep our own log because there's too much going on for these vans to be parked and you walk outside and this van sitting next to you, you don't know they inside ready to snatch you. This is the type of stuff from a safety perspective we want our people to be more aware of. Okay, so that gets us to the economic portion, but I'm gonna take a break and then we're gonna come back and talk about economics and then ultimately construction. Thank you. All right, your host is back. Cy Smith is back. Sorry about the camera there. Okay, so here we go. Let's talk about economics. So, as I stated initially, with the good news is how you guys are donating and the money is starting to flow in here. That is important. I appreciate that. Now, let's be specific about what we have in terms of donations in and why this is adding up and making a difference. By zip code, in April, we had $100 come in for the whole year. Now in 60612, that's $110. 60623, we had $24 come in for the year. That's $49. We have 60624, nothing came in April, but $192 have already come in for the month, for the year. 60639, nothing has come in April, but we have $100 in from last year. I mean, for the rest of this year. 60644, nothing came in, but 136 came in for the first previous 4 months. Then we had 60651, nothing come in, and only $37 previously was in the account. So a $624 total, which is pretty good for the West Side. But we know we can do better, and that's why you hear me harping on that. 60609, New City, nothing came in, and all year long, nothing has come in. So we've gone 150 days with not a penny coming in from '09. We do have Ken Edward who's putting money in, but that's coming from the suburban zip code. 60620, $48 came in last month for a total of $158 for the year. 60621, $24 came in, and that is the $24 for the whole year. Okay. 60629, $37 came in April. That brings us to $137 for the year. So far, the highest. Then we got 60636, West Inglewood. That is $36. That brings the highest total $185 on the west side of Chicago. That's coming out. I mean, from the south side of Chicago. That's coming out of West Inglewood. 60652, $12 came in April. Their total is $86 right now. So that's the lay of the land for the west of the Ryan Expressway. Then 60615, three people donated. That's $36. That brought the total to 84 for the year. We had 60612, one person donate. That brought it to $37 a year for that. 60628 is $12 donation. That came in and brought the total to $136.00. Then 60628 zip code, led by Charles Robinson. That zip code brought in one supporter, $12, and that $12 brought it to $136 for the year. 60637, that is Claudette Reddick, brought in $24. That zip code. The total now is 48 for the year. Nothing came in 60643. Nothing came in 60649. But 60643 haven't given anything all year. 60649 has done $34 for the year. Nothing in April, and then May. Nothing in May for 60653, and $12 is in the account from the beginning of this year. The last side of town, east side, 60615, 33 people donated, $36 came in. That brought their total to 84. 606 60617, $37 for the year, $12 for the month. 60619, five people donated. That's $60. That brings their total to the highest in the whole city right now. $237 belongs to 60628, and then 60637, $24 came in. That brought it to $48. 60653 haven't supported. Nothing is in the kitty all year long. So they joined only 60609 with that distinction. Then we had 60649. Nothing came in that month, but it still was $34 spent the previous. Then you had 60653, which is Bronzeville. Nothing was spent, and we've only received $12 for the whole year from 60653. So the reason this is good news is because we're ahead of where we were last year at this same time. So we know how quickly people can get the epiphany and then start supporting, and that's what we're hoping is going to happen. So far this year, $3,773 is what we raised. Um, that's not our loan people. That's a separate thing over there. But 3773 is what we brought in. We brought in $620 in book sales so far. So that's $4,194 total income that we brought in so far. Our total expenses though is $4,148. So we got to some work to do there, but I think we can get it done. Then we have we only took on 3 loans, so that's $142 that's out there. Okay, where we at with time wise? 350. We should be switching gears on construction here. Last thing on this, I want to really just talk about the 35 business owners doing 144. Thank you. Let's grow that. Governor Antoine in St. Paul, Minnesota, he has his lounge. His dream is of opening. He just did 144 yesterday. So that's again, we got our 35, but now we're working on getting Gary's 35. That's like the goal, so we can keep digging deeper. Now, what will be hurtful is if our people who are telling others about us, if we're asking them to wait to their 6 month turn, and I'm saying no, let that's used for us. They don't have to know about that, nor do they care about that unless there's a real need. It's nothing secret on our side, but we just want to make sure that they know um, it's available. That's how I see that. These 35 owners, though, helping us raise $5,000 is going to help us to create jobs this summer. Hopefully, they'll get the books. That money will come in and help us as well. So let me go through this real quick because they're going to get supported tonight. And if you hear their name, you may support them too. But we have it broken down each group into these industries, and every industry helps one grade out. So I want you to know when barbers cut hair, they're helping eighth graders out. When beauticians do hair, they helping fourth graders out. When so every grade. So we it's Wednesday is economic day. It's 4 Wednesdays a month. So every Wednesday we focus on 1 week worth of industries. So week one we're focused on restaurants. We focused on beauty salons. We focused on travel companies, fashion design, and DJs. That's the first Wednesday. So anyone in those fields, we want to connect. Week two, we're focused on cleaners. We focused on realties, nail salons. We focused on gas stations, things of that nature, car washes. In week three, we focused on dentists, doctors. We focused on lounge owners. We focused on home healthcare. We focused on landscapers, moving companies. Then week four, we're focused on consultants and construction. That's what it boils down to. But that also has a portion in that dealing with how to stay afloat for business people just getting started out. All right. So unless you guys have any questions, that's the economic report that I was excited to give you guys because we are seeing you guys responding and getting family and friends to respond. And that's what we've been asking for a long time. So kudos and thank you for that. Um, 70 businesses we want by June 26th. That's the next summit, June 26th. So we want to have we got that 35. We want to have 35 new ones in Chicago and 35 new ones in Gary. We want to do this before July 1st. So hopefully you guys will be able to help us meet that quota. It's going to help all of us out to do that. So it's not just filling our coffers up. Our coffers are your coffers as well. Okay. So let's take our break. Done with the economic development piece. Now we're going to come back and focus on construction. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Major sponsors. Let's give our major sponsors a plug here. Now, why is this screen not showing up? Okay, there we go. So these are our sponsors. Without these people, we would be in trouble financially. Historical News Journals, Patrice, Real Estate Broker, Elite Dental, Benevolence Home Society, Price Insurance, Crusader Newspaper, Gentle Hands Cleaning, Elise Shops, and Longevity Barber Lounge, Roots and Vine, Legend Styles. We got Dan's Soul Food Restaurant right here, Infinity Moving Company. So these are just some of the people who's paying for us to continue to do the work that we do here, and I want to give them that proper acknowledgement. Uh, if you guys haven't been on the website, there is so much information here that you can go and grab that'll help you to better navigate and know what we're doing. So these are the videos of previous summits, and I'm gonna play these versions as we go forward here. Last month, March 2021, the National Summit was last names LM. It should have been PQs and Rs in April. I don't see April, so I just haven't uploaded it yet, but they're there. All right, internet is very slow, so we might not be able to see it. Uh-oh, we may be able to see it. There we go. There we go. So this is what it looks like, you guys. So we capture all of it, and they go back to last year, so you can kind of see and follow up and see what we're doing, and we'll continue to do. All right, so now we're going to come back and we're going to go into education. That's what's next for us. Let's see how this plays out. Let's see here. Yeah, it's taking too long, so I'm going to stop sharing the screen now. Okay, let's get on with education. Education. So we have under education, you guys, the spelling bee competitions and now the nickel auctions. Okay. Every young person that we meet, wait a minute now. Okay. Okay. I want to make sure that video stopped. Okay. And it's not stopping. Let me go on a break. I'm going to come right back. All right, everyone. Your host, Cy Smith, back at it again. Want to thank you guys for sticking with us. So we have education. We're going to talk about. I miss construction, so I'm gonna mix in education and construction. Let's finish with education first. So for those who don't know, we took every grade, kindergarten all the way through 12th grade, and we assigned every grade one thing to do. Now, why you guys can't see me here? You should be able to see me here. Let's fix it. There we go. So every grade has been assigned support. Again, this is one of the outside the box thinking strategies that we have. And the purpose of that is so that every child that we meet will have people ready to be available to assist them. And we have another degree that will make sure they'll be available 365 days a year. That's a more complicated one. We won't get into that now. I just want to open up so you guys can see what I'm speaking about when we talk about every grade being organized so that no matter what comes up, we got somebody who can support them young people. School is about to be out. My daughter's out now, and she'll be going back end of July. So for those parents whose kids are going to get out, the question is, what is planned for your child? What will your child go back to school knowing that they didn't know when they left school? If we don't think about that for kindergarten through 12th grade, we're failing them. It shouldn't be that they just get to go home and sit at home, all summer long and lose the knowledge and insight that they had. They already have had to deal with this pandemic. So I want to invite people to help us push this process so that these young people can virtually be in camp and in some instances physically. And so let's look at what I wanted you guys to see first about every grade. That's what I want to show you first. Here we go. So let's make this big so you guys can really see it. Then I need to share the screen. Okay, here you go, right here. Give it a second. Okay, some of you guys seen this before. It's not going anywhere. This is our main document when it comes to setting the youth up for success. So your block, and this is what really disappoints me when we talk about missing persons and things of that nature. When you think about it from a village standpoint, if you know people in your village, um, it's going to be hard from someone outside the village to come in and do certain things. And this is where getting to build our village again makes sense. It's almost to the point where we can't expect no one else to do this. It has to be us doing it for our own community. So the way this works, it is designed so you can put your block up top. I'm on the 5600 block of South Ashland. I'm on the 3600 block of West Lexington. I'm on the 4th and Forsyth block in Georgia. That block goes up top there. Underneath that, it says human capital inventory to feed a citywide movement. Because of the way we built this, every person we meet is going to be assigned somewhere. Now, it has date and time. The reason the date and time is on here is because the minute you take this inventory, someone can move off the block, someone can transition. So it's imperative that we know the date and time you took the census so we'll know what the latest version is on the block. You see RAY for each one of those professions. That's retirees. The A is for adults and the Y is for young people. How many retirees, gardeners on the block? And the gardeners are linked to first grades. That's who they're help. How many teachers, travel agents on the block? That's adults. How many youth want to be travel agents? And All travel agents support eighth graders. So that's what this represents. It's an ultra way of organizing so that K through 12th grade is covered. Everyone is in the lane. Now people can just go and have impact on these youngsters' lives. Okay. Hope that gives you guys some vision there. So now let's talk about the spelling bee competition. So again, when you think about remote learning, one of the things that I think people learn is that things can be done without us being in person. Now, with anything in life, there's pros and cons to things depending on where you sit. But one of the benefits of remote is it'll also allow us to remotely engage someone who's struggling. A lot of times when people struggle, it's because there's a mental disconnect, and it's not that they can't comprehend. They comprehend all the time, but it's something else there. So with the remote learning, now you got access to whoever is on the other end, and that gives us more. We're not forced to sit down with the same person who we might not be vibing with. So we do these Tuesdays, education day. So every Tuesday we do the spelling bee competitions over internet. And what it is you get on the conference call. We give you a set of words. You and your competition get to raise your hand or say, "I got it," your name, and then we call on you to state that response. We don't tell you the answer. We listen for the second person to say it. Then we make sure we know who the winner is. Then we come back and we announce it. And we keep it on to the next question. But that's how the spelling bee is designed to work, so that we can do it over the phone and they can win. But the requirement in both the spelling bee and the artwork is that the parent or guardian has to have Cash App, Zelle, Quick Pay. The bottom line is we don't want to have to burn manpower, physical manpower, to get money to you when we have all these electronic ways of doing it. That's the bottom line there. All right, so that's Tuesdays. Now Wednesdays is all about our artistic talent of our young people. And so if your young person loves drawing, let them cash that in. We have something called the nickel auction. This is 5 cent increments of adults bidding for your artwork, with the artwork going to the highest bidder. Now, isn't that exciting? Isn't that fun? When you think about your artwork now can, garner you some income, some revenue. So this here is no age limit on it because it's a nickel auction. So if a grown up want to get in and rock and roll, that's fine. It is a nickel auction. So that's what I would say to that. The other thing is eventually when the money is there at a higher level, these are going to become significant winnings. I mean, like trips to Atlanta for you and 3 family members, that type of stuff. So we want people to be excited about what the competition is going to do. We also have the mock trials on the fourth Tuesday. We have the poetry slams coming up this Sunday. We have the what else we got? Some other things too. But the point is, let's take academics and let's make it fun and exciting and challenge each other. And by doing it nationally, I think that's going to definitely get people excited. Okay, so I think that covers it for education, the awards, teachers, summer. This is what I say for the teachers. If you are a teacher and you don't know about our Gary, Indiana vision, the bottom line is we want to help our people buy real estate in Gary, Indiana right now. So if you're a teacher in position to become a member of Real Estate LLC, please call me and let's talk about it. 312-405-8844. 312-405-8844. Okay. My vision is that teachers will this summer, when they get out of school, own real estate in different places and be able to travel there. That's a vision for teachers. We want teachers to have a more uh, supportive lifestyle. And if we value what they do to our children, we should value their quality of life. And that's what we hope is going to happen. So we know teachers are out of work during the summer, so we're going to backfill and try and make sure the teachers can not only supervise cutting grass, things of that nature, but they got tutoring opportunities. We want to have other ways they can earn money to make the ends meet during the summer. Okay, that's it for education. Told you I had to backtrack on construction. So let's do that after the break. We're going to come back and deal with construction. Thank you. All right. Cy Smith coming back to you. Told you I left off on the construction. I want to get back to that. I want to go over what we did last month. Um, Detroit, Michigan is our national headquarters when it comes to all things dealing with carpenters, bricklayers, plumbers, welders, painters, things of that nature. We need to build up our database of our handyman personnel, both those who do it legally above board and those who do handyman jobs around the neighborhood. We need that list. We need any personnel, uncles, cousins that do work like that. 312 We have to build this up. And the bottom line, other groups are in our neighborhoods doing work that our men could easily be doing if they were supported with an infrastructure like what we're doing here. So I'm making the call out to you now. If you have any person in your life, in your orbit, that's handy, we want to get them on this list so they can be a part of something bigger than what they're doing locally. And it'll put us in a better position to help keep the swindlers away and people like that that's unscrupulous to our people. So this month, May, it was about women in construction. Um, trying to focus on where our ladies that's involved. I have a list of people, female contractors. So as far as just an actual company that is somewhat booming, haven't seen that yet. We hope to help some females do that. My wife is doing furniture reupholstery, so that's an aspect of construction because they're taking old furniture, redoing it. A lot of manufacturing and sewing is a part of that. So that's a big piece of it. Landscaping is huge. Governor Charles has the cream of the crop um, landscaping. So this is a big deal that we're going to try and grow that. We're going to be asking 15 people in every zip code to put up um, $10. That's $150. We're gonna put a lawnmower in every zip code in Chicago, third largest city in America. And then we're gonna have those kids working this summer. So thank you for that. Any other updates on construction? Feel free to loop me in. I'm gonna bring in our health person now. That's a part of education, then health. This is Dr. Michelle, and someone I've been knowing for a long time. And we are gonna switch gears and talk about health. And for those who follow me on my Facebook, you've seen me recently with Dr. Michelle at a beautiful space where Healthy Botanicals is operating. And Dr. Michelle, are you there? We give her a second to get connected. But you guys seen the video. If not, become my friend on Facebook and you'll be able to watch that and all the other content that I'm able to produce as I move around the city. I do want to say this to the people who see me moving around the city. When you see me, it's a plan. Wherever you see me at, there's a plan. So I'm not just riding around the city. On Mondays, it's west of Dan Ryan. On Tuesdays, it's the west side of Chicago. On Wednesdays, it's east of the Dan Ryan Expressway, and that repeats every week. So I'm not just randomly in neighborhoods. It's very very structured and thought out a long time before I get there. All right, so just, that way you guys know that because I get some people saying, "Hey, swing over here, swing over there," but I want y'all to know there's a process and method to the madness. All right, Dr. Michelle, are you there yet? Okay, it says she's still trying to connect. So while we wait for her to come on, I can easily switch gears. Let me move into the last phase that we have, and we'll come back to the health part. And that's policy, the legal, and accountability piece. So every second Friday of the month is our report card day on elected officials, on politicians. We believe elected officials should be excited about having the community engaged more than just around election time. If they're not excited about being evaluated, now we got to look at something else because what are you hiding? We send our children to school so they can get a report card so we can measure their progress. We can't hire people and not have evaluation structures every year to assess their behavior. It shouldn't be every 4 years election time. That gives room to do something like feed everyone for 30 days straight and get the vote. We don't want that type of stuff. We want longevity. So every second Friday being political day, that means what's your view on your elected officials? And we want to get that documented so we can share that with them and help them be better politicians. That's a goal, and we want to get that ingrained in all of our spirit that we've carved out space to do the accountability part when it comes to government. Are you there, Dr. Michelle?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You doing well?
Yes, thank you. How about
Excellent.
you?
Well, every day we press forward, so that's the gist of it. I did a little prelude to make sure people knew who you were and that they can go back and look at my video if they're friends with me on Facebook. But you mind sharing who you are and what you do?
Okay. Um, Thank you for the invitation.
Of course.
There's a little bit of talking in the background. I am presently at our corporate location in Chicago on the fifth floor. So, Tyron, it's a beautiful place to be. Um, I often have the opportunity to meet people through one of the main companies I align myself with called Health Place Botanicals. You were introduced to Health Place, or we call it Heal Thy Place. Look at the spelling of healthy. Heal thyself, and heal yourself through proper measures of food, supplements, exercise, the proper type of water, and intervention if need be. And
Right.
intervention could be anything uh, really in a lifestyle change. So I help you to change your lifestyle so you are more proactive into optimal wellness.
Right. And I think when people hear that, change can be scary for people who are accustomed to the status quo. And so what I try to
Uh,
do, Dr. Michelle, is to make sure that people know if you don't change at all, that's a bigger problem. But you can do incremental change just to alter the way you're thinking, and then the behavior can follow. But you don't have to go 0 to 100. You can take baby steps. What do you say to people who might be intimidated when they hear that they have to change now?
well, that's a loaded question because everybody is different and they respond to stimuli, words, or things that happen in the environment differently. The one thing we have in common is that we all know we're going to die. That's the DEAD, dead. So you have a choice. You have a choice to take the express lane to death, or your Heavenly Father wants you to have a long life. What do they say in the Bible? About 120 years that He's granted to us. So how do we get there? People are getting there now. They're living these homes. Some of them have healthier lifestyles. Some of them are on some medication. The bottom line is, if you want to live longer, healthier, then change is the only thing there can be if you want to.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. So, Healthy Botanicals, tell us there's a little history about that and why you think it makes sense for people to start to support and be healthier and support a black business.
Well, as you know, my roots are are ingrained in the Black movement in a positive way, and it can only be economic because every one of us, I don't care if you're on what they used to call welfare, I don't care if you have a part-time job, full-time job, stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home dad, you're spending some money for something. Because if you're not, that means that you're living on top of some mountain or whatever, drinking snow water, which is fine, and hopefully it has some type of plant on there when it gets warmer. But other than that, you're spending money. The question is where is that money going?
Right.
Okay? Is it going right out of your neighborhood, right out of your city, right out of the Black economic, strength that we have? We have small little corridors, but we don't have a massive movement where everybody has committed to spending a good portion of their dollars in Black business. And hopefully it's legitimate business. We're spending money on those guys and gals on the corner. Okay, they happen to be Black if they're in our neighborhood. So we're talking about legitimate dollars. We're talking
Yeah.
about teaching people how to make legitimate money. So why don't we tie the two together? We all need a certain level of wellness. So we have products in Healthy Place Botanicals that are essential oils, and these oils help to promote a healthier lifestyle. You just take a few drops, and a lot of people feel a lot better. Why is that? Because it's made from nature. Okay, so there's an economic tie to that. So if you go into the store and go ahead.
Now you said a few drops, and I have the frankincense black seed oil right here. I'm showing them now, and see that it's few drops, just like Dr. Michelle just said. So that just wanted to show them that.
That's right. And the beauty of it is this, and I have to admit, I haven't been using essential oils my whole holistic practitioner life. I've been using more of vegetables and seeds and like that in their change form, meaning they've been powderized or somewhat liquefied. But I've never used essential oils until regularly, I should say, until 5 years ago. And that's how healthy place or heal thy place, botanicals is. It's 5 years old. And the beauty of it, that one drop that you have, and what did you say? You said it's frankincense, you said it's myrrh, you said it's black seed. Well, at least two of those are in the Bible. Anybody in this listening audience or viewing audience, if you cracked open your Bible, you probably heard the word frankincense and myrrh. You probably heard that there's a Messiah that was born some 2,000 years ago. You probably heard that the three wise men brought gifts to him when the star led them by night to see where he was in a manger. And they presented these gifts, frankincense, myrrh, and the third thing they presented was gold. Why is frankincense and myrrh with the gold? Well, gold is pretty expensive today. It's traded on the stock market more and more each and every day. So why does frankincense and myrrh, how does that rate? Well, at that time, especially, frankincense was more valuable than gold because they used it for wellness. They used it to kill germs and bacteria. And guess what? They didn't even have a microscope then. I'm a microscopist. The microscope has been used maybe about 200 years now, not quite that long, but the bottom line is they didn't have it 2,000 years ago. Why did they use the frankincense first? Why did they have frankincense back there in the tabernacle, back there with Moses? That's a lot longer than 2,000 years ago. Okay, why? Because it was offered up as an incense, as a sweet smelling savior unto Yahweh. That's in the Bible.
Wow.
So what they did is they had to have these animal sacrifices. Thank goodness we don't have to do that today. We just eat the whole thing, the whole animal. But the bottom line is they had to sacrifice, and they didn't have air conditioner and spray and all of these Febrezes to make the air smell good. So they used frankincense in the tabernacle. And there's so much history with that, but the high priest, he had to sprinkle it in there because those carcasses stank while they were being barbecued, if you will, outside of the tabernacle. So then you're also embalmed with them, and you also they use the frankincense and myrrh on the outside of their skin. So it preserved the skin, and it was one of their wellness aids to keep them well, because they knew something was wrong inside, so they needed something quick. So for every one drop of frankincense or myrrh, that might be the equivalent of a whole bottle of whatever you would normally take when you have the flu. Did you hear me? I said 1 or 2 drops of the frankincense and myrrh could equal, if not outdo, a whole bottle of some concoction that you buy over there in the drugstore. Okay?
That's major.
That's how it is.
Yeah. That is beautiful. Now, how do people sign up? Like, I've been able to get probably 5 or 6 people signed up already. Just what do you say? So people hear from you.
Yeah, well, you have various governors and different, levels of people out here in their own community, in their own block, that really do have the best intentions for their neighbors. And what does it say in the Bible? Love thy neighbor, right? So how do you love them? You love them by giving them information. So they have a special website that they have, and you can I guess call Cyron, or he'll direct you to which governor, and that governor will give you their website address, and all you do, you're shopping online for every other thing that's non-Black. Why don't you try and log into those websites and look at our awesome line of essential oils through them? Very simple. And then you just hit the if you want to become a member, you just sign up as a member. Costs $19.97 for a whole year, and to have the right to purchase, and you get a rebate. If you buy up to $50 in a month's time, you'll get a 25% rebate. Now you do the math, Tyron. How much can you get back if you spent $50 and you get a 25% rebate?
Now you gonna put
That,
me on the spot.
that's
I in school I froze
that's
up
what
whenever I
I'm
was
saying.
challenged, so I'm not a good person for that.
No, that's okay. So what do we look at? We 50% of 20 of $50 is $25, and cut $25 in half is $12.50.
Right.
You get a $12
There
and
you go. See
50
that?
cent rebate if you spent up to at least $50. I said a 25%. You know, you get maybe a 3% or a 5% rebate, and on a real good day, you'll get 10% in some of these
Right.
big box stores. I said you get 25% rebate on everything that you purchase from yourself.
Yeah.
Where
Now
else can you
it's
get that?
amazing. I have the website pulled up so people can see we got extreme weight loss. That's show organic hemp. It's showing women total balance on here. It's showing the HPV 100% organic. So this is the website here, but the key is to contact me because we want to make it where you become part owner and you can benefit a member where you can make money as well as helping people to be healthier. So I just want you guys to be able to see this is the website here, but 312 405 8844. That's directly to me. I'm going to find out some information about where you live, and we're going to connect dots so that you can be more integrated in your community, and we'll be a part of this healthy movement. Every Thursday is Health Day to us. So, Dr. Michelle, what else you have? Because I have to. Do you know Brooke Bennett? Is she with you? I'm about to let her in. I'm not sure what she want to share.
Yeah. Well, we're in separate places. I'm very proud of her position as she's editor in chief of our magazine that will be coming out for Healthy Place now. So I don't know if you see her logged in. Is she logged in?
Yeah, I'm bringing her on now. That's why I wanted to find out what else did you have to share. Maybe we're gonna hear from
Okay.
her.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm known for going on and on and on because anything I believe in and talking about,
Dr.
I just
Michelle,
can't.
I love listening to people because it's like taking a ride for free in their head and their experiences. So it's okay.
Alrighty.
Now, do we have Sister Brooke Bennett online here?
I am here.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you for joining in. So how are we connected? Are you connected with Dr. Michelle?
Am I connected with Dr. Michelle? Yeah, I'm her daughter.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I thought you knew that.
See, now you guys catch me off guard. We got to have a sidebar conversation after this Zoom here. Michelle, I'm gonna get you. Okay, Dr. Michelle, very well. All right. So the floor is yours. This is our open session. So what do you? This is our audience. We have 20 different cities connected to Chicago's 20 zip codes, and our whole focus is about us pulling together, being there for each other, layers of support. So we want to hear from each other. So what do you do, and what do you have to say to our audience in Chicago?
Oh, okay. I had no idea this was an open forum like this. I thought I was just going to be coming on listening to what I don't even really know what this summit is. Um I briefly saw your website, but thank you for the
But
opportunity.
I heard you just on the news the other day, so I didn't get a chance to tune in. So we would love to hear. We want to know what our people are doing. So please
Oh,
share.
I wasn't on the news, but I was on a TV show called Chicago Fire. I'm an actress. I'm an actress and producer, and
Wow.
I so I mostly work in the entertainment space, but a, always a big part of my life has been in activism and support for the community. However, that I can bring my resources and facilities together for
Excellent.
that. So my production company focuses on nonprofit uh, promotional videos, advertising for them. I wanted to be a resource for them to have to be able to tell their story and have a voice, and not rely on only big mainstream media to get their
Right.
message out. So I literally just I'm coming on late because I just finished editing for 4 hours of video for Books Over
Wow.
Balls. Reven Fellows is I think you know him.
Yes.
Organization he's involved with. I'm doing a promo video for them. I captured about 3 events in the last couple of months for them, and so I want to be cost efficient. I want to be a tool for them. Not
Wow.
not something that takes from them. More. So they're very happy to work with me, and I them. To me, it's important to get the messaging. So
Well, the narrative matters, and the fact that you're helping to shape it and convey it to our people in a way that is going to be beneficial, not adversarial to us, is amazing. Uh, and I think I should have known you. Like, I'm a little taken back, but we'll talk offline. But yeah,
well, you do know me. You just don't remember. You met me through Mata. I was younger.
yeah. I'm looking at your picture here, and so yes, I don't remember, but I am older now. So we keep moving forward. So every first Tuesday of every month, every first Tuesday, so 12 times a year is our entertainment day. Every first Tuesday, and
All
we
right.
have a hodgepodge of people that deal in different aspects of entertainment, from video, theater, sports. And on the first Tuesday is when we check in to kind of make sure everyone is in Atlanta living what projects they have coming up. So I guess when we talk offline, we can see how best they can support you and vice versa, because all of them can use elevation in what their talent and what they're trying to do. And the fact that it seems like you're a sharpshooter that can work out. And we believe in helping people raise money if need be to keep the money circulating in our community.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's another component of what I do. Actually, I am a fundraising coordinator for Chicago nonprofits for a entity called FundDuel. It's a virtual way to raise money for nonprofits, and I'm the only one that has brought them to the Chicago area to focus on more um, urban and Black-led movements. So we did our first fundraiser with a organization called Pop on Youth Violence, and um, they raised about $10,000. It was all virtual. Everything kind of had to pivot because of the virus. So, but there's no need to stop. What to stop supporting and elevating our much needed programs. So,
Now,
um,
did it's called, because that sounds like the sports betting.
it does.
Uh,
That's FanDuel,
okay.
and this is called Fund Duel. You're dueling for funds.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, that's a good
um,
play on words.
yeah.
Very good.
So it's a
Well,
different
we
another arm
yes.
of what I do, because I make the video, the promo video that the nonprofit needs to be a tool on the platform, and then you can raise money from that video if they don't have one already. So it all
Yeah.
comes together. But thank you. Yeah, I'd love to be invited to your Tuesday sessions.
Well, I'm gonna ask for your phone number so we can talk. And I got a lot to share with you. We have some stuff coming up. We had 3 months of summer that we want to make the safest as possible. So knowing you and your youthfulness, we should be able to attract and get people to do things differently this next 90 days here.
Absolutely.
Excellent. All
Thank
right.
you,
Well,
Tyron.
the next phase here, and it's open forum, so you guys can chime in. We want to talk about the laws on the books. This is the section here where we focus on the legal challenges facing blacks. And one of the big ones right now that we are seeing in the news is this qualified immunity that's being pushed. That the activists, the Black Lives Matter activists, are pushing to have revoked, removed, taken off the books. And what that boils down to, from my understanding and in a nutshell, is these police, which we know the history of police from slave patrols to current, essentially have written the laws in their favor where they can get away with murder. And this is time up with social media. It's time up for the things that they've been hiding in the written in laws, that we can expose it and get it changed. Now, my perspective on it, though, with anything is you're going to have the other side arguing why they should keep it. Under no circumstances should it stay status quo. So, as a compromise, worst case scenario, ideally we'll get rid of it, but as a worst case scenario compromise, on the table could be where it's a three strikes you're out qualified immunity. So that's something that I just put out there, but it's what the people on the blocks believe should be done, and that's what we can rally around supporting. Did either you guys have any comments on that, thoughts on the qualified immunity?
Well, can you hear?
Yes, I can hear you, Dr. Michelle. Now I can't hear you. Okay. When you come back on, we'll bring you right in, Dr. Michelle, but I can't hear you right now. And
Because this system has
you're broken up real bad, Dr. Michelle. Can you repeat
the
it?
rich and famous, and I think I just lost the sound. Can you hear me? Okay.
No, if you could repeat it, that'd be good.
I'm not. Oh, well, I'll just talk. The disparity of this system has always fallen on the back of our people. So, some people think that we've never been enslaved, but we're enslaved by our own mind, and by lack of imagination and thinking outside the box. If you get stopped by a policeman and you happen to be black, you know that your life is probably more in jeopardy than if you were not black. So
Right.
there's a lot of intrinsic information that you need to know. I mean, if you just carry around an outline what to do if you stop by a police person, whether they're black or white, and what rights you have. You have a right to film this. You should always have a camera ready, or something recording. So, it always starts in understanding the subject matter and the definition of it. And if I were you, I would always, make sure a fourth grader will understand the subject of what we're talking
So, but going back to the qualified immunity, though, do you
about.
think because the
I've
police
got to
unions have protected them?
log in because I'm not hearing a thing.
I'm sorry. Okay, Brooke, I know you're on mute. Did you have any comment on that?
Not specifically on qualified immunity. She she would be the best to comment on that.
You say, like, where do you want to begin?
Right.
Well, I just wanted to give that opportunity, but no, we know at the end of the day, we black, we know what we up against. So it's so many areas. And the good news is we have people like lawyer Paul Pierce at Chicago State. We have Rose Joshua, NAACP. We have some people who are in the legal world, and they're allies to this. They're a part of this effort. And so our job is to gain block by block support so that the subject matter experts in whatever field it is will have reinforcement, because the voice of the people matters. And when you match that with the experts, we can really get some things done that in the past they was able to dilute, but block by block it'd be more difficult for them to dilute it, because we'd just say, here's the 1700 blocks in Black Chicago, this is what they say, Now go against that and see how that works for you. So, all right,
I love it.
that's on record.
Hmm.
Anyone that want to chime in, you guys know every fourth Tuesday of the month is our Lawyers Day. That's when we're in touch with our lawyers. The next subject is about voter registration. And we always have, unfortunately, around election time, that's when it appears people want to go out and get everyone registered to vote. So the second Friday of each month is our voter registration date. That gives us 12 times a year. So we're not waiting every 4 years to go and do voter registration drives. Brittany Corner is our leader for that area. That's 60652 zip code. That's 79th and Western, that area there. The black business over there that we work with is Dan's Soul Food Restaurant. And so together, that zip code, along with our black business, is our way of making sure that we every month are doing a mini audit to see how many people we were able to get registered in the last 30 days. So every 30 days, checking that audit. So we only in April we only had 3 people citywide. So not one person in all 20 zip codes was able to be registered to vote. So we got work to do, but at least we're gonna every second Friday do that audit. Any thoughts, perspectives on that? And we move on. Okay, so the last piece that
You
I'm
know what?
excited to push.
I have a
Oh
quick
yeah,
question
go ahead.
about your
Mhm.
lawyer. Uh, what exactly? How are you um picking the lawyers that are involved?
How do we pick them?
Mm-hmm.
So everything we do is by zip code. So as long as they're inside the 20 zip codes we have, if they're outside the zip codes, then we tie them to a zip code. So if you have a lawyer that is on the north side, for instance, where we're not at, we'll find out if they have a mother that lives in Chatham or Roseland or auntie that lives in North Lawndale. But as long as they within the 20 zip codes, we want to get to know every single person and what their
Oh,
professions are.
okay, great, great. I have some
Mhm.
I'd like to introduce.
Yay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, that's perfect. And that the good thing is by expressing to them once a month, that's 12 times a year. So that's more manageable than, oh boy, now I'm about to get bogged down with something that's going to be asking me to be highly involved. This is sparingly only 12 times a year. So thank you for that. That'd be awesome. So Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana. It's a few things as we close out here about Gary, Indiana, and its importance to um, blacks. Number one, it is a black town still. Gary, Indiana is still 8 out of 10 people black. And that matters because when you think about Cleveland, Ohio, Detroit, that was also highly, in the upper 80s black. Neither one of those cities, Cleveland or Detroit, has a Chicago next to it. Chicago is the third largest city. So what that means for all of us is if Chicago and Gary aren't coordinating together, we're missing an opportunity that don't exist nowhere else in this nation. Because again, 80%, and then you got Chicago, which is the third largest city. So yesterday we were able to have Chicago leaders come over to Gary and unite with the Gary leaders at the brand new Hard Rock Casino. Not for gambling, we only ate. Our focus was to eat. There's 5 restaurants in there. So we brought the leaders together to have this conversation about building up Gary, Indiana because of its proximity to Chicago. There's still over 10,000 vacant structures in Gary, Indiana. Real estate, no matter what happens with technology and all that, people are going to need to have a place to stay. So to have Chicago highly invested in Gary, Indiana is critical, absolutely critical. The other piece to it is Gary has this valid concerns about bad behavior coming across the border. And it's, we talked about it, it mirrors when they tore the projects down in Chicago, the high rises, and you had blocks not prepared for the residents coming. So this time, since we know Chicago and um, the turmoil from a political standpoint, violent standpoint, have some people coming, we want to make sure that we're better prepared to say welcome and here's how, this is where we're going. So Gary has 51 weeks of convention scheduled at the Grant Theater and elsewhere, but Grant Theater primarily, so that what we are going to use Gary as the Black Mecca for all 20 other cities coming to, even though it's Gary, it's Chicago because that's where the transit is, the O'Hare and the Midway, and so between Gary and Chicago, it's going to be the reason for people from LA to Mississippi, Detroit, Georgia to come up here. Is 51 weeks. So we talking every single weekend except the Christmas weekend, a different convention here in Gary, Indiana. So I want to pause there and get you guys' thoughts on that.
I think we should definitely support their infrastructure and development. It doesn't, it's a city that doesn't need to die. I already working with an organization on the violence part of it. I mentioned them earlier, Pop on Youth Violence. They're out of Gary, actually.
Really? You know what zip code?
I have it in my paperwork.
Okay.
Off top,
well, it's only 7 zip codes, bro.
Oh, okay. So definitely alleviating the violence is a critical point, there and Chicago. Definitely, I would like to gather my resources to see how I can facilitate more growth in Gary. Definitely.
Big time. And I think the key though is the travel, because to me, when we talk about programming for the youth, travel trumps a lot of stuff, because being able to go see, smell for yourself is that's a different level. And so just think about this Underground Railroad 2.0, where the young people are traveling back and forth and meeting and interacting with each other. So when we talk about weekends now, it's no sitting around bored. You're coming to see the group from Detroit, the group from Jackson, Mississippi, the group from Kansas City. So it's almost like now we have this vibrancy that even Chicago feels the impact of, because it's always something to do and we're interacting in a town that 8 out of 10 people is still us. So yeah, so that's the big piece here, and I just wanted to let you guys know, especially those who haven't been able to come out. The casino, $300 million. The goal is to open up the hotel on the northern part of the parking lot there. If the casino does well, there's a threat that if Illinois opens up its casino on the south side, south suburbs, that's going to take away. And I think that's why they are waiting before they build a hotel, because they want to see the impact. So that might be something that could slow down, if not derail, that aspect. But we're going to, no matter what, do the real estate in Gary so that we can have a place for our people to stay when they're coming up for our 51 weeks of conventions. So that's
Great.
it. Any thoughts on that? And then we're going to close it out with the next summit coming up in June.
Just looking forward to hearing more. I definitely want to know more about the 51, what you're doing out there every weekend, and see how I can participate.
Now, are you back here for good, or you still, because you were away to school, right?
I was in LA a long time. I'm in Chicago now.
Excellent, excellent. We just made 3 great contacts in Los Angeles with the only Black-owned gas station out there in Southern California. So we're gonna rock and roll on the first Tuesday. That's LA's day, and they're looking forward to working with us.
Oh, okay, great.
You still got contacts out there?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, so that'll be amazing. So.
Yeah, I still go out there every month.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
And this gas station, have you heard of her? Michelle Hopper. Her father had it for 60 years.
I I definitely heard of a Black-owned gas station, but I don't know them. I didn't know it was only one. I thought it was more.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, so we in Milwaukee with the Black gas station, we send money each month for free gas for them in exchange for whoever get the free gas to give us their phone numbers so we can recruit them. But it gives them a leg up with their competition across the street that never have free gas days, that they got the Chicago free gas days. And that's what we want to bring to the LA gas station as well, so we can
Oh,
send them the money electronically. They can market it and help us grow what we're doing out there.
oh, wow. Okay.
Excellent.
Um,
So we
well,
next month
uh,
is June. June, our tour moves from Bronzeville to Inglewood, 60621 zip code. And that zip code is primarily, our focus is 59th Street, even though it goes to 51st Street, but we primarily focus on 59th Street, and it goes all the way up to Marquette. No, it goes to 63rd. No, Marquette, yeah, 67. Sorry about that. And from Racine back toward Yale. We have Sister Chastity Freeman. She's our governor for that zip code. We have Tamila Miller, who's an advocate on clean neighborhoods. She's doing a whole lot to hold people accountable for no trash on our blocks. So they will be highlighted next month when the tour moves to Inglewood. And it is Saturday, June 26th. Saturday, June 26th is our next one. It is for last names that begin with the alphabets V through Z. V through Z. This is S, T, and U last names. So we're gonna primarily focus on those last names. But again, we're open for any and everyone. But those last names are on their twice a year duty. So we're gonna hope to have them active all month long with recruiting and getting everyone to learn a little bit more about this process. All right, that concludes us today. I want to thank you.
Tyra,
Yes,
I just have one more thing to say. Am I
of
allowed?
course.
Yeah. I'd like to discuss with you off offline about the potential of a COVID effort, that's COVID-19, maybe a defeat COVID-19 campaign with the National Club University, because
Yes.
I'm telling you, this summer is going to bring a whole lot of heartache with people becoming sick with COVID and losing their loved ones, whether they're young, old, or what have you. And we have to really be aggressive and progressive. And I think that your organization is the perfect position to do that.
You know, Dr. Michelle, we're gonna do that. Let's put it out there. We'll give details later, but the bottom line is this, everyone. The summer is here or coming. It feel like summer now. People are gonna get together. People are gonna forget the protocols in place. You're not gonna know who has the shot, who doesn't. And the bottom line is, Dr. Michelle and I already discussed it. We're gonna have routine testing to get a handle on where we are now, and we're gonna going forward have that possibly once a month. But the real deal is to know your status, know where you are, so you can do what you can to be healthier. We got Healthy Place Botanicals to give us the long-term remedy as well. So we're gonna. It's a matter of coordinating, but we're gonna get it done. And I trust Dr. Michelle and her team to do right by the test. I know that was part of my mental block, but when you got somebody that you trust, you can open up better, and I hope that's going to transcend to all 20 zip codes as well.
And I fully understand that, but let me tell you something. Have have your listeners and your viewers look up the article on the New York Yankees this past week. They were in the news because why? They all have been vaccinated. They are all of them are multimillionaires. All of them are under the best care possible. And guess what? They all caught COVID after being vaccinated. So there's a lot you don't know. There's a lot I do know, and we need to bridge that gap. I'm out.
The good thing is we have you, so we're gonna. I always tell people, don't be afraid to be used. You don't want to be useless. You want to be useful. So we're gonna make usefulness of Dr. Michelle when it comes to us. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, everyone. Brooke, I hope to get your number here soon.
Absolutely.
All right. Bye
You got
bye.
a direct
Thank you,
line.
guys.
Okay. Thank you for this.
All right.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Okay.